Hi, it's Nikki here, your healing artist at Energy and Emotion. I'm going to do a short video on just showing you the first steps in starting with an intuitive painting, just to get you started, and then through different videos I'm going to show you how I layer up in what I do. A nice way to start with intuitive painting is just maybe to spend a few moments of coming back to yourself, of going within, of connecting with you. So maybe just sitting there quietly, maybe closing your eyes. You can also do the meditation that I have also shared as well, a guided meditation on intuitive painting. And just sit there with your eyes closed, and maybe to get in contact with your emotions about how you're feeling, or maybe to set an intention of what you would like to work on, maybe in a particular area of your life, like relationships or work or health, or just leave it completely open. But just maybe just spend a minute just to close your eyes and just calming down the mind, and just to be in the moment. I have set a piece of paper and I've just chosen 3 colours just like that, a couple of purples and a green. The only thing I will say about colours is that try and not to mix warm and cool colours on the same layer, because it can end up being a muddy mess. So cool colours are anything with like blues, greens, so they really feel like cool. If it's a green, like a very bluey green. And then the hot colours, the warm colours, like oranges, reds, yellows. So they're much more sunnier colours. Don't worry about it too much. I can share things about that as well. But it's just, that when the paint is wet and we're mixing warm and cool colours, it does tend to end up being a bit of a muddy colour in the end. So I'm just trying to keep the colours separate, but it doesn't matter. This is not fixed. It's just an advice. So that the hardest thing when we come to a white piece of paper, if we haven't painted for a very long time, is thinking, oh my God, this is a white piece of paper. I have to fill it. I don't know what to do. If I put a mark on here, it's going to be wrong. And, these beliefs that we can come up with when we've probably painted at school or in art class, when we're having to paint something. And this approach is completely different, because whatever you're going to do on this first layer is going to be painted on top, so you won't see it. And it's hard at first, I know, for many people to do it, but it's just a case of just enjoying the moment, of just having fun, of taking this first layer, of being like, being that young child again at school, and just having fun with the paper, and just reconnecting with colour, and see how it plays on your paper. So the first layer can just be like experimental, just to trying out your paintbrush and your colours, and just to see what happens. Sometimes people find it quite hard to make that first move. So what I say is just to draw a line. So first, I take my paintbrush and just wet it a little bit, just so that the paintbrush is moist. And I just tend to just get a bit of the water off, so it's not dripping wet. And just take any colour and just put a line against, you can just put a couple of lines on, and that's it. Your paper is no longer virgin, it's no longer white. It's just, now you've done something to break that blankness in front of you. And then, you can just play. You can just see how your paintbrush plays on the paper. Try a different colour and just see, just see what happens, and see how that feels for you. See, I love doing that. It's like, reminds me of like little iris flowers. So this first layer is just really about playing, of getting connected to the paper, and just seeing what effects you can make with the paint, without any judgment, without knowing there's a right or a wrong. It's just it's just what it is. And it's like a child, we're just having fun and just seeing how those colours play out, what what effect we can do with the paintbrush. But once we've made that first line, it's much easier then just to see where it takes us. It doesn't have to take us anywhere. This is just playing. And when we have done the first layer, we're going to dry with a hairdryer and then paint on top of it. So whatever you do on this first layer, it doesn't matter because it's not going to be seen. Thinking of that, I do like to take a photo of each layer, because even if we think that first layer meant nothing, sometimes it can when we see the rest of the journey and see what comes through. So it can be, I do like to keep a record. I'm just going to show you while I'm here this fan brush that I talked about. So I just put a tiny bit on, and as you can see, it's a much lighter, and you can also obviously do different shapes with it, which look like little trees. So really use this layer of just reconnecting, because it's probably been a very, very long time since you've ever touched a piece of paper at all with paint. And I'm just, see this it spreads out the paint. So it's just a moment to reconnect, to get used to the feeling of paint, to what it's like, because some people may have also only painted with watercolour, and so acrylics is going to be new for them. So this is just, it's like being introduced to a person. It's the same. That first line is just like shaking hands, and then we just enter into a conversation. And I said, without any judgment, without thinking where is this going or how there's going to be something. And this is like, it's in life, I really see the correlation between intuitive painting and life, that it's living in the present moment. It's not thinking about the future of what we're going to be doing. It's not thinking about how it was when it started. All we're thinking about now is what's on the end of a paintbrush or spatula. And for me, it's just about, almost seeing how the colours look beautiful together. And it's just really being in the moment of not thinking about anything else but what you're doing on that paper right now. So, I would, if I was doing this in one sitting, I would photograph this, dry it with a hairdryer, and then come back to it and then paint over the top of it with different colours, probably. Sometimes not, sometimes yes. But I do like to go with different colours. And my colours, sometimes I choose with my eyes closed, or I just go with what feels that I want to, what inspires me. So as I say, when you sit down at the paper, take a few moments just to close your eyes and center yourself, and then take one color and just draw a line or a shape or anything on that paper. And that, to me, it's like shaking hands. It's like that first connection, and then we start to enter into a conversation. And like with the conversation, we have no idea where that conversation is going to go with somebody. We're just there with them. We're present with them. And with this, we're going to get more and more present with the conversation, with our soul, with our intuition. And like everybody, when you first meet somebody, we're unsure. We don't really quite what to say. We're frightened of saying the wrong thing, what they're going to think of me as I'm talking. But it's also getting to know that person. We've probably never met them before. We've never met our intuition or our soul before. So it's getting into that moment of saying, hello, this is me. This is what I am about. I'm just going to present to me, which is what we've done here. and allow your soul and your intuition to start saying, okay, she's here. We're going to meet. We're going to start to enter into a conversation. And it was very funny because I've never thought of it that way before. That just suddenly came through. There's so many correlations I can do with intuitive painting, and I've never seen it like that way before, of the shaking hands and entering into a new conversation. And when we meet that person, we don't know where it's going to go. We don't know how long we're going to be talking with that person for, what subjects we're going to be talking about. We're just listening. We're just there listening to that person, allowing them to talk. And maybe they will ask questions to us and we'll answer. And this is the same thing that's going to happen with intuitive painting, that we enter into a conversation with the soul. So there we go. I'm going to leave that there. And I hope that will just give you a few pointers to get you started.